we're going to start with, as we always do, with the champs and their division. And obviously, we're starting with the champions first. That would be the LA Rams. They're looking to repeat. They've gone ahead and added Allen Robinson via free agency and also Bobby Wagner, who we'll talk about the Seahawks later. They did lose a few key pieces. Von Miller, defensive lineman Sebastian Joseph Day, Troy Reader, big on the O-line here is Austin Corbett, one of their guards. And then Sony Michel, who's was one of their stable of running backs. Johnny Hecker, too. Did not realize he left.
They also lost Andrew Whitworth. He retired, left tackle.
John, what were your thoughts on how the Rams handled their offseason and how it affects this season?
Yeah, overall, honestly, the only losses that really concern me are on the offensive side of the ball, mainly Whitworth and Corbett. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the offensive line. Whitworth was just such a staple there for quite a long time after being a staple for the Bengals for even longer. He was really the rock of that offensive line that kept everything together, and so with him gone, left tackle, one of the most important positions on the entire team, we got to see what's going to happen there. I'm not a Rams fan, so I'm not tuned into, the training camp rumors and who's going to be taking that spot as of right now, but I think the offensive line is definitely going to be the thing to look out for as we move into the season. But overall, I really like their offseason. Yeah, maybe you lose Odell Beckham Jr., you traded Bobby Woods, but I just think that Allen Robinson, honestly, is a better wide receiver than both the guys they lost. Robert Woods, obviously, he's coming off that injury, so I don't think that he's going to be as productive as he once was. And the same with Odell Beckham Jr., where Allen Robinson, yeah, he is coming off a really disappointing season in Chicago, but we've never seen him in an offense that is as good as this Rams offense. If you look at the quarterbacks he's had throughout his career, he had Mitchell Trubisky, he had Blake Bortles, he had this 1 year of Justin Fields, but there's just a lot going on in Chicago, and Fields, he's a rookie. So we've never seen him have a quarterback as talented as Matthew Stafford, and we've never seen him have a play caller as talented as Sean McVay. He's never had a receiver opposite of him as good as Cooper Kupp. There's just so many things around him that are being upgraded that I think he could be poised for a really big season with the Rams. I think that his skill set really complements what they're going to want to do offensively because Stafford has that big arm and Allen Robinson can be that guy in the perimeter that's going to go up and win contested balls. So I love that addition. And then initially when they lost Von Miller, I wasn't super shocked because the price tag that the Bills paid for Von was incredibly expensive, and the Rams, they have money, but they didn't have that much money. I wasn't super shocked. But then all of a sudden they got Bobby Wagner, and they got him for a far cheaper deal than Von Miller got, but it was still about 5 years. So I don't feel like they really got worse on defense. Honestly, arguably, I would say that this might make them better because Von Miller, obviously, he makes them so much better in terms of rushing the passer, but you still have Aaron Donald, you still have Leonard Floyd, you still have some awesome guys that are going to be going after the quarterback, and Bobby Wagner's just going to make their run defense so much better that they might be a more balanced defense overall and be able to handle teams that want to run heavy against them. So I really like the offseason they had so far outside of the offensive line, and we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, my concerns with offensive line, like you mentioned, and that's always tough to project because unless you have like a first or second round pick, which Rams haven't had those in a while, they've been moving those around. It's tough to tell if they're confident in the guys behind Whitworth and such. And I'm guessing they are because, like we just mentioned, they invested some money in Bobby Wagner and Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, I more understand because, Odell Beckham situation's up in the air. Don't know if Van Jefferson and Tutu Atwell, guys who they've invested what little picks they had in recent years, if they were ready to be the number 2 to Cooper Kupp. We kind of saw in the Super Bowl, once Odell went down, as great as Cooper Kupp is, it was tough for them to generate offense just because the Bengals, they knew they just had to focus on one guy, which is Cooper Kupp, and the run game wasn't going. So, another thing too for Keys is will they get their run game back going? And also Stafford already has an elbow injury that they've kind of been playing coy. We're not sure if it's severe or not, but at his age, you never know. I mean, 2 years ago, Big Ben had an elbow injury. Now he's out of the league, as I heavily criticized him last year. Big Ben, he's kind of throwing ducks around. So my only concern too with the Rams has been one for the past few years is maybe a little thin on depth. They're very top heavy, as you can imagine, with the team that's investing in a lot of their stars like Aaron Donald, and you mentioned Bobby Wagner had that good contract at age 32. Yeah, as long as their stars stay healthy, which I know is super cliche, but they're very heavily reliant on them. So as long as those guys stay healthy, they'll be right in the mix. And I expect them to be in the playoffs, even if they lose one or two. As long as they don't lose like two or more, then we'll start worrying, especially at the quarterback position and Aaron Donald. But yeah, I expect them to be right back in the playoff mix as well.